Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss return on investment on our first and currently our only rental. Currently the tenant started the lease back in September 2021 and today we're in April, so that's 8 months that I want to break down. And also I want to do a year projection based on those 8 months. I have enough data, obviously it's been 8 months compared to 12, and we're going to break that down. We became real estate investors not by mistake, but on purpose. Back in April 2021, we were looking to purchase a primary resident home that we knew we wanted to flip it into a rental. I have a video to discuss how to turn your primary current residence into a rental, but here I'll just give you the gist of it. The reason we go by that is because you get residential interest rates, and those are obviously cheaper than going the investment route. As well, you can qualify for a residential loan through 3% down via conventional or 3.5% down via FHA. As an investor, you would need anywhere from 20 to 25% down before you can even qualify for that. We began this journey back in April 2021. You may or may not know, but the market was crazy, even here in Houston, Texas. People were coming in with cash, paying 30 to 50,000 over asking because the real estate interest rates were so low, historically low, 3%. I hear some people got as low as 2.6% if you bought it at the right time, which is a steal for a 30-year fixed mortgage. With inflation right now at 7-8%, basically the bank is losing money on that. Like I discussed earlier, the market was crazy. We submitted 12 bids and we finally found a seller that was more interested in selling to a family than a real estate investor. Now, like I said, we were going to buy this house. We bought this house as a primary residence, and by law and to make sure you comply with your mortgage, you need to live in it for a year, and then after that year, you can move and you can turn that into a rental. You don't have to sell it. You can keep the advantages of those. Obviously, low interest rates, low money down. Amazing school district. We wanted to appeal to a family. We wanted great restaurants, shopping malls, which this home is 5 minutes away from the Houston Premium Outlets, which is constantly busy. Low HOA fee, if any. There's some houses that have $1,000 of HOA per year, and that steals your rental income. So we wanted a low HOA fee if there was any, which majority of suburbs, they live in a little community and there is HOA fees, which again depends on you. Some people may like that, some people not. The pros of HOA is selected board members that constantly seek to see if some houses look dirty or if there's trash outside. They'll send a notice, first a warning to see, hey, make sure you clean that up. Second, if you don't clean whatever that mess is, then they will charge you penalties for that. Besides an amazing school district, we wanted it to be real close to schools in case stuff happens, the kids miss the school bus, the parents could drop off the child real close to the home. We wanted good restaurants, not necessarily mom and pop restaurants. We're talking about the chain restaurants, good for activities for the kids. We all had this all in mind, and we picked an area here in Houston called Cypress. The home, it was built in 2002, and the HOA for this house was $300 per year. Like I mentioned earlier, the suburb is called Cypress, Texas, which has an amazing school district. I'm talking about primary, secondary, and high school. They have all A pluses. My wife and I looked at this house and said, hey, if we had kids, would we like the area? Her and I confirmed. We also pulled some rental comps, and houses that are in that area were going for, if it was a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, it was going for $1,800 to $1,900. But if it was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, rents were up $150 even more to $2,100 to $2,300 depending on the house and how big it was. The asking price was $245,000. To be more competitive, like I stated back then, it was super crazy with people paying 30 to 50 grand over asking. We decided to put $100,000 down. Now, again, I don't want you to get scared. I don't think you need that now. You'll be fine with either the 3% or 20%, whatever you can save. Our locked-in rate, which is crazy because right now interest rates are above 6, close to 7, was 3.125%, which is half of what it is today at a 30-year fixed. This house originally was a three bed, 2.5 bath with a den slash office in the first floor. As soon as we got into the house, we knew we needed some updates, painting the house, updating the cabinets. They had the old wood color. Plus, we looked at the game room it had, and when we ran comparables with other houses in the same neighborhood, 4-bedroom house was bringing in $150 more per month in rent. We closed on the house June 28th, 2021. We looked at the house originally. It had a kind of dirty white color. The seller, during that time, it was a seller's market. So there's a lot of sellers that, you know what, I'm going to sell it as is. If there is some couple updates, we're going to negotiate that because it's a seller's market. So the sellers left it as is. And as soon as we walked in, we definitely looked around and we were like, okay, there's some updates needed. When we put bid in the house, there was, I say, only 3 or 4 bids as opposed to the original 12 plus on this house because it needed some updates. And it's just appearance. It's not necessarily, oh, the foundation was, uneven. It wasn't any major than that. I know majority of people need the house to be top notch, already complete for them to buy. And it takes a certain eye for you to see, okay, if I paint the walls or if I paint the cabinets or do a couple updates here and there, this house would flip and be completely great. We decided to go with light gray on the house. And the reason why is because I know a lot of rentals have just white paint, but we noticed, because we rented before when we were in Chicago, that the walls got dirty pretty easy. So we thought about it that we don't want to paint every year, or every time the tenant moves out. So we got it light to mid gray color. It looks really good. It pops. It saves us on the paint. We're probably not going to have to paint till maybe 2-3 years. The kitchen cabinets had the wood color. Those definitely needed to get updated. As soon as you walk into the house, it has a lot of cabinet space, which is great. We were thinking about how can we get this house to pop in pictures. And we decided to go with painting them white. It was very strenuous, to be honest with you. We should have gotten a spray gun and just spraying it, but her and I just kept painting. Got primer, but even with white paint to go to color over the wood color, it took like 3 coats. When you went upstairs, you see a huge game room. All the bedrooms are upstairs, all the 3 that were there originally. And we saw a game room, and most people may or may not use a game room, but we decided, and like I stated earlier, we were seeing rents were $150 more per month if it was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So we added it. We're like about $1,000. I did a DIY and basically closed that room and built a wall with the room with a door. I like to thank YouTube for that. I saw many videos. I'm not handy, but I figured it out step by step. Total cost with the wall, new tools, paint, adding also little drawer handles on the drawers. It all came out to $1,300, which if we would have hired out, I'm sure it would have been anywhere from $3 to $6 grand right at the top. And again, this is a rental, so if I can cut expenses anywhere, I'll do that. We solo manage. We don't have property managers. I feel like maybe once we get to 4 or 5, above 5, maybe I'll hire a property manager. These tenants have been great. There has been some maintenance calls, which I'll discuss in later this video. But for now, it hasn't been that bad where, the house is 20 years old. So, but if you get a house that's 40 years old, there's going to be some severe updates that are going to need to happen. We were happy that the roof had been replaced about 3-4 years ago, and it was top notch. It was still great quality. So that's one big thing. We don't want it to get any leaks through the house. Like I discussed earlier, I built out this little Excel. We can discuss current 8 months and then go into a full year projection. First, I want to discuss the initial investment. As you see, money down was $100,000. The deposit to basically get the house out of the market was $5,250, which usually is about $300. But like I described earlier, the market was pretty crazy. I had on here the additional where I built the wall to create the 4th bedroom, painted cabinets, and the initial investment was $115K. It's a big investment, but like I told you back then, if we wanted it was a seller's market. If we wanted to get a house, we were gonna have to be super competitive. If by competitive, I'm saying put a lot of money down. Okay, now that we discussed the initial investment, I want to break down basically what happened in September. The lease started in September. We agreed for the rent to be $2,180. They had a pet fee. Now, if we go into the expenses, the mortgage is $1,108 with 88 cents. I hired a professional to take pictures, and because I saw a bunch of houses that basically had their own pictures. Didn't spend money on marketing. I didn't even want to click on the houses, but I clicked on those houses specifically to see what not to do. I'm talking about the photos were blurry. They only had like five or six pictures. And not only that, but it had been in the market for 100 to 150 days. And I'm wondering why the owner did not realize, hey, pay somebody to make it look very, very professional. First thing that draws you in is the pictures. That's the number one. And if they have a lot of pictures, good description, pops, we're good. So that's what I wanted to do with the house as well. RentRedi app, which is a streamline application. So as you see for September, the first month, it was a negative 260 with 88 cents due to the water heater. Unfortunately, this is on my end. It wasn't the tenant on their first day that they moved in. The water heater wasn't turning on, honestly. So I had to go in there the first day and basically hire somebody to switch it out because I needed it to be done today. The tenant was obviously moving in and they're gonna be hot and sweaty. So they wanted to take a shower, and preferably not a cold shower. Now on October, they were going to pay the rent, $2,180, and mortgage, $1,108 with 88 cents. There was a profit of $1,071.12. We go down the line, November, there was a $90 late fee charge, which again, RentRedi calculates for them, and they pay that fee along with the rent, which the cash received was $2,270. Same thing with the mortgage. Obviously, mortgages don't change unless you get an increase in taxes and or insurance. And the profit that month was $11.61 with 12 cents. Now walking down, December, $70 late fee, $22.50. Minus the mortgage payment, $11.41 with 12 cents. Now in January, they paid the rent, and what came through in January was the HOA yearly fee, which was $332, which brought the profit down to $7.39 to 13 cents. The beauty about having rental properties is that it's a business. So any business expenses get deducted from your income. And that's currently, if you're a W-2 employee that works for a company, you don't get those benefits at all. So do you get to write off oil changes? Do you get to write off travel? No, so this is the great way to dip your toes into starting a business and reap the rewards of tax benefits on rental properties. February, $80 late fee, same rent. That month was $1151.12. March, $80 late fee, $22.60. This $85 fee was for AC repair. April, $60 late fee plus the mortgage of $1108.88. Total profit $1131.12. So for the year, the total revenue was received was $18,120. Unfortunately, that's not all income. There's expenses to go with that. With all expenses, total for April end of month is $7,199 with 97 cents. Now breaking down basically the ROI, which is the rental profit of $7,199 with 97 cents. In total invested of $115,205, we get ROI of 6.25. Now, as I discussed, actually the lease will end in August this year. So looking here at the full year projection, if we look at the late fees, I basically got an average of what was paid since September, which came out to $47.50. I wanted to just averages to make it realistic, and then I'm praying that there's nothing to fix. There's no repairs needed, and everything's gonna smooth it. Everything's gonna smooth easily, but Lord knows if that's gonna happen, right? So as you see, breaking down May, June, July, August, all look the same, right? Same rental revenue coming in at $22,2750. Same thing, mortgage payment $1108.88, all from May to August, and basically a profit of $1118.62 all the way down from May to August, which the projected year total $27,030. See the expenses, the total profit will be $11,674 with 45 cents, which, as discussed earlier, ROI, rental profit divided by total invested, which is the $11,674 with 45 cents, divided by the $115,205 that was invested into this property. The ROI comes out to 10.13. Now this looks way better, right? But again, I just wanted to show the projection from adding May, June, July, August, to get better feel, better numbers. And again, this is just a projection, so I'm projecting that there's not gonna be no repairs, that everything's gonna be smooth. 10%, that looks way better, right? There's no other investment that are giving you 10%. And the thing about real estate is it's real, you can go touch it. And the plus about it is it's a business. So any miles that you have to drive, any meals when you go drive to do some maintenance calls, travel to go see other properties, all that can be all discounted with this. When it comes to stock, stock you can't touch stock. There's no write-off of stock, right? So that's why I love real estate. But like I told you, you don't necessarily need to invest $115,000. That's not needed. I got into real estate because I wanted to live in the property, and then after that, fix it up a little bit, and basically rent it out after a year to follow the mortgage rules. I plan to do another video of the actual year cost, profit and loss was, and also the ROI. But I'm super happy with real estate. When there's some maintenance calls, I get pretty nervous. But so far, as you saw, as the breakdown was, it was pretty good. They're low maintenance. The husband is kind of handy as well, and he tries to fix things. So super happy with that. They pay late fees. There's no arguing with that. They don't try to combat that. They know the rules. It's on the lease. So there's no haggle or negotiating with late fees, because I'm not going to do that. Guys, all this is to say that if I can do it, you can do it too. If you need any motivation, if you need any signal from God, then take this as a signal. If you're looking into, you want to dip your toes into it, you can do it. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not Jeff Bezos. I'm just a normal guy here on YouTube. I'm basically thinking of different ways that I wanted to see videos before I dip my toes in there, which is motivational, which is breaking down cost, the how-tos of how to start a real estate empire, so on and so forth. But again, this is just my first rental. Hopefully, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'll be able to keep on adding videos and talk about the next rental and so on and so forth, right? But it's all baby steps here and there. It's not night and day, right? I know there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there that are thinking about purchasing apartment complexes, and I'm just like, I just get so overwhelmed by those videos because I'm like, I'm not there at all. I'm not even near that, you know? So how do I get from here to there? And here is just the first step. This is your first rental. Start off with no, just start off with one, and then from there another step, and then another step, and then another step, right? But again, if I can do it, you can do it too. So decide today, pull that trigger, and start looking for houses that you would like to turn into rentals. Have a good one.